Are you preparing for Praxis Social Studies Content Knowledge 5081, U.S. and World History, Containment, Cold War Conflicts, Ideological Differences, International Relations, the Cold War Era? If so, I have a video that is perfect for you. My name is Tom, and I'm a test prep expert here at Study.com and a certified teacher, and I will walk you through some sample problems you may see on the test. In this particular video, we will focus on the period after World War II called the Cold War between the U.S. and the Soviet Union. Okay, are you ready to get started? Let's take a look at some questions. Which of the following events is often cited as the beginning of the Cold War? Is it A, the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki? Is it B, the Cuban Missile Crisis? Is it C, the Berlin blockade? Is it D, the Russian Revolution? All right, so let's eliminate some possibilities here. Now remember, the Cold War started between the United States and the Soviet Union after World War II. So we're going to eliminate the Russian Revolution, which was well before that. And the bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, that was still technically World War II. So we're going to eliminate that. Now, the Cuban Missile Crisis did happen after World War II, but that was in the 60s when we were in the middle of the Cold War. So I'm going to eliminate choice B. And the correct answer here is C, the Berlin blockade. This is often cited as the beginning of the Cold War, where the Soviet Union blocked ground access to West Berlin from the Western countries, the United States, Great Britain, and France. Which of the following U.S. policies was implemented by the United States to contain the spread of communism? Is it A, the Marshall Plan, B, the Truman Doctrine, C, the Roosevelt Corollary, or D, the Monroe Doctrine? All right, so I'm going to eliminate choice D, the Monroe Doctrine. That's from 1823, James Monroe. And it's a doctrine to basically tell Europe to stay out of the Western Hemisphere's affairs. I'm going to eliminate the Marshall Plan A. That was a plan to rebuild Europe after World War II. C, the Roosevelt Corollary had to do with Latin America and the U.S. interest there and to keep the Europeans out of Latin America. And the correct answer here is B, the Truman Doctrine. And the Truman Doctrine was designed to contain the spread of communism throughout the world. After the Cold War, the polarities of power largely shifted from which? A, from a bipolar system to a unipolar system, B, from a unipolar system to a multipolar system, C, from a multipolar system to a bipolar system, or D, from a multipolar system to a polar system. So during the Cold War, the major powers of the world were the Soviet Union and the United States. So that was two. So that was bipolar. So we started with a bipolar system. And then after the Cold War ended, the United States became the sole power. So it switched to a unipolar system. So the correct answer here is A. Which of the following would be considered a significant domestic consequence of the Cold War in the United States? Is it A, the Vietnam War, B, the Second Great Awakening, C, the American Civil Rights Movement, or D, the Red Scare? All right, so let's eliminate some possibilities. The Second Great Awakening was a religious movement well before World War II. The American Civil Rights Movement was a movement that gained traction in the 60s in the United States, but not directly related to the Cold War. The Vietnam War was not domestic consequence. It happened overseas, so I'm going to eliminate that choice. And the best answer here is D, the Red Scare, red representing the Soviet Union and communism. And it was a time of fear and paranoia where an American politician, Joseph McCarthy, was trying to root out what he thought were communists within the U.S., and especially in industries like Hollywood. So the correct answer here is choice D. That was a sample of what you could see on Praxis Social Studies Content Knowledge 5081, U.S. and World History, Containment, Cold War Conflicts, Ideological Differences, International Relations, the Cold War Era. For more practice, check out our Praxis Social Studies Content Knowledge 5081 playlist. And for even more detailed practice, strategies, and customizable study materials, head over to Study.com and check out our Praxis Test Prep course. Those who use Study.com boast a 92% pass rate. Our courses include full-length exams, hundreds of authentic practice questions, and short, targeted video lessons specifically developed based on the latest test updates. With our resources, you'll know exactly what to expect on test day. Like this video and subscribe to this channel to get all the latest Praxis test updates. And please leave your questions and success stories in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. Happy studying.